Welcome to our podcast, Titan Talks, Strength Through Struggle.
I'm Keris.
And I'm Matt, and we are the coaches from Team Titan.
And yeah, this is our first episode of this podcast. And the main reason we're doing this podcast is we've been through quite a lot, especially in the last 2 years, I would say. Obviously, the last year has been the most heavy. And we found real strength through training in terms of how we cope with all the struggles that we've gone through. So yeah, we're really excited just to talk about what we've been through, how we've overcome it, and bring loads of interesting guests from all walks of life to talk about their journeys. Hopefully help some people, inspire some people.
Definitely will help some people as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We've got some really cool guests lined up as well, haven't we? So
I'm excited for it.
Some good stories, some sad stories, some happy stories.
From all walks of life as well. So it's not just purely about fitness. We've got a range of people lined up. Obviously fitness is a theme that's woven throughout, as that is pretty much our life. We live and breathe it, is our personality.
Literally going to go to the gym after this.
So today's podcast, we just thought we'd introduce ourselves, who we are, what we do, and obviously what brought us to be here today. So why don't you kick us off, Matt? Tell us about you.
Well, I think we'll start with how we met, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, go on then. Okay.
I think 15 years ago now. Well, we're now 33.
So we were 17 when we met, got together when we were 18.
Fresh out of the army, fresh out of basic training, I should say.
Yeah.
Thought it was the dog's bollocks in that nightclub.
You did actually with your little cardigan on.
Oh my god, the cardigan.
So yeah, it's a good job we both went out that night actually.
I know, it was just after Christmas, no one wanted to come out, or one of the boys. Yeah.
So yeah, we met when we were 17. Not to promote underage drinking, but yeah, we were 17 in Delilah's back in the day.
No, yeah, was I? Or was I just 18?
No, it was Christmas.
Oh.
So, and then you turned 18. Yeah, you turned 18 not long after. Yeah, so we were in Delilah's.
Yeah, that's where we met.
You literally pointed at me.
Pointed at you.
Don't take me much, does it?
That's how confident I was after my first year in basic training. I just pointed at you. It worked good, didn't it?
Oh.
It did work.
Well, in all fairness, we had a good night. You were buying lots of drinks, so that's probably why I stayed around by you. But yeah, so we met when we were 17 out in a club in Newport. And then, it was only a couple of months after that we kind of officially got together, wasn't it?
And then I kind of got you into fitness a little bit, didn't we? Because you kind of did a little bit, but then obviously with my military training and stuff, I was just always going out running and stuff on weekends. And
yeah. So from there, obviously we got together when we were officially got together when we were 18. And then it was a couple of years after that when we actually got together. Like through this time, you were obviously in the army, working away a lot. You've been on a few tours. So that was quite difficult especially in the early stages of a relationship, managing longer distance. And obviously I was still in school at the time and obviously went to uni.
Well, that sounds really dodgy with same age. Same age.
So yeah, and then obviously you left the army when we were 20?
I did 7 years, so what was it, 24?
So yeah, is that 7 years? Wow, okay.
But it's a bit about myself for people who don't know.
Yeah.
Obviously gone through that a little bit. I'll go from the military career. Started at 17, which is very young, but kind of shaped me to who I was now. But to be fair, I'll get into this obviously later in the podcast, but when I was 17, 18, 19, obviously the early days in the military, I wasn't as strong as I am now, which I kind of regret, don't I? Sometimes.
What, in terms of your mindset?
In terms of mindset, yeah.
Yeah, because I think now on reflection, if you had the mindset you've got now, you would have gone into
I would have
probably
done.
special forces or something.
I would have loved to have tried for like better courses and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Although engineering doesn't really gets frowned upon with stuff like that, but still go for it.
You did well and you got a lot out of it. But yeah, I think if you had the mindset that you've got now, but then that comes from everything that you've been
But yeah,
through,
when I
I
joined
guess.
up, I didn't have that mindset where I wanted to push myself or anything. Like I did well, I always push myself in the military, but not like I would now. Like I love it, love doing the stuff I do now just to push yourself. But kind of built up by all the negative things that have happened in my life.
But then they say that's what kind of makes a
Makes you
person,
a
makes the
breakthrough, yeah.
failures and stuff.
But so yeah, I did 7 years in the military, loved it. Probably the only reason, well, there's a couple of reasons why I left, I'm not going to get into that, but probably the main reason was you.
Don't blame it on me.
The travelling killed me though, and going away all the time, like, to be fair. As bad as it sounds, after wars with them, it was a bit boring. So, wasn't going away anyway, really, just stuck on camp, so a bit boring, really. So yeah, and then after that...
You do as well, you need like something to give you, like to keep you stimulated.
Definitely need something. Like, even going on holiday, I can't sit there, I need to do something.
Yeah, you get bored way too easy.
Yeah. And then from there, obviously I left and then joined GE, which was aircraft on the engines, which I actually loved. And then COVID came and ruined it for us.
Yeah.
But because of COVID, we're here now.
That's why I think, like, although at the time it was pretty shit, it was a blessing in disguise, because otherwise it wouldn't have forced you to be where you are now and push to go full time as a coach and everything. So, yeah. So, a little bit about my background. Then I left uni, I studied criminology, so nothing to do with fitness whatsoever. I actually hated PE in school. I was in, a class that just used to piss about. I didn't take it seriously. I mean, I played a little bit of netball, I did a bit of football and that when I was in primary school.
Football?
In primary school, yeah. And I used to do quite well in the sports days, but it was high school, I don't know what it was, I just lost, I just wasn't, I did obviously dancing and stuff like that outside of school, but yeah, PE and all of that didn't really interest me, I just used to mess about.
Casino?
Not anymore. So yeah, just used to mess around, and then it was I must have been about 15, 16, maybe even 14 actually, I can't remember exactly when I started, but my dad started taking me to the gym. I had put on a little bit of timber in high school, puppy fat, my mum used to call it.
The lambs in the biscuit tins.
Used to come up from school and have like jam and crackers, like what? So yeah, my dad started taking me to the gym, but I was literally a cardio bunny. I'd go on a cross train for like 40, 45 minutes, do a bit of stretching, do a bit of abs, and then I would be moved done. And I did that for quite a while. Then he started like showing me how to get into weight training and stuff. And then obviously when we met, you had me flipping, sprinting up hills and doing all sorts. And then I think that's when we really started getting to the gym and when I started to really enjoy it a lot more. I think I got pretty strong in those early days, like when we were going up to Pure Gym. I remember squatting like 90 kilos.
What was the form like?
Well, yeah, I don't know about form, but we never used to record anything back then, so you don't know.
More simpler days back then.
Yeah. So obviously, left uni then, and I became a probation officer, and I did that for I think 7 or 8 years. And obviously, being a probation officer is very, very stressful. Working with people assessed as high risk, so it was very full on. It was a job that you couldn't really just leave at work. You always took things home with you. So yeah, I guess training was my stress relief from that. Used to have a bit of a rubbish day, or if it's been really stressful or whatever, then yeah, hit the gym, make me feel a little bit better, help me cope. And then yeah, obviously we started coaching, so should we go into how we kind of got into coaching?
Yeah, kind of like, it was probably due to COVID, wasn't it? Obviously we trained for quite a while, but I say we trained for years now, 15 years, 16 years. And even when obviously we didn't play sports, apparently football, but I apparently play football as well. I tried to play football.
I did play football in primary school and I was the goalie, I think.
Oh wow.
And I wore my brother's Alan Shearer like top.
You were the
bright
last.
green.
You were the last one to get picked, weren't you?
That's mean.
No, but so yeah, we well, with COVID, obviously.
Well, COVID kind of knocked you a little bit because
Yeah, because
you
the
were on furlough.
gyms weren't open. I was on furlough for a couple of weeks when I got back into gaming as well, and that ruined me a little bit. Which I still love gaming. I'm a bit of a nerd, right? So.
You're drinking a little bit as well.
Yeah, drinking a little bit, not training because.
It used to drive me up the wall because I was still in work. I had to work through the whole thing, and then you'd just be there chilling.
I was there for like 3 weeks more.
It was a bit longer than that.
But yeah, so COVID kind of put my bedroom back a bit. Gained a bit of weight, hated it. Started with a coach ourselves, didn't we? Well, myself first. And then he became kind of like a mentor, really, didn't he? I was with him for 4 years, so I knew I was with him for a little bit as well.
I think you started with him and I saw how amazing you were doing, because in lockdown I was doing all like the Courtney Black stuff. And I saw the progress that you were making, and I was like, oh my god. So then I signed up with him maybe like 6 months after.
But at that time I didn't really think about like coaching as that's what I would always wanted to do it, but like it wasn't really.
Didn't feel like it could be a reality for us.
And then, like I said, he was a mentor, so like he taught us a lot, and I'll always say thank you to Asper for that.
Yeah.
And then it catch. I don't know. We started. Well, I've always wanted to compete, and never really thought that I could have. So I was always quite skinny, and definitely in the military, I just couldn't put on weight. Obviously, all the crazy stuff we do, and just eating. And then, yeah, we just decided, didn't we? Like what he spoke to us about competing, and we went for it. Then we started competing. Did really well, pretty well. You did really, really well. Well, we both did well. Actually, I did well for better in my first season than I did in my second season. Second season was a bit of a shambles, so we got redemption on that one. But yeah, so, and then we decided let's give coaching a go, and then we just took on some friends and people who wanted some coaching for free, didn't we? For
just to build some experience.
They got really good results, and we really enjoyed it. And it just blossomed from there, didn't it?
Snap.
I know. Yeah, so it just blossomed, and then Team Titan grew. I don't know where Team Titan even come from, to be honest.
I don't know where the name came from, but you drew our first logo.
Yeah, Mr. Hunt from Art would be proud of me.
It was a good
my
logo.
GCSE, my C in GCSE art has come to use for that one time. And now we don't even use that logo.
Yeah, I know.
But yeah, so Team Titan grew, and then.
Yeah, I think it was from coaching that we saw how much our lives, from us being coached and going through bodybuilding preps, how much our lives have changed during that period of time. Thinking then this is something that we actually want to do.
Well, to be honest, we used to drink quite a bit, didn't we?
Every weekend. We probably had drink every weekend.
And then when we got into it, now I feel so much better. Like, you know what I mean?
Massively.
Like, don't get me wrong, because I would drink.
Yeah, I know you do.
But not as much.
When Christmas rolls around, I was like, way!
Not as much as I used to. And
No.
just like that hungover feeling, I hate it. So
Yeah.
fitness is. It's not just going to the gym,
We just used to live for weekends. Like, we love training and everything, but our weeks would be so, like, we would be good, I guess. You know, we'd be eating well, we'd be training, and the weekend would come, it kind of all go out the window.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think, some people do, bodybuilding is not everybody's cup of tea, and I completely appreciate that. But it taught us a hell of a lot in terms of discipline. And actually having, like, where I am now compared to where I was before we were competing, like my mindset, my discipline, I've got a much better balance, better relationship with food, and obviously not everybody's experience is going to be the same, but we definitely learned a lot, and I think the way that we felt our lives had changed, that's something that we actually want to do that and help other people.
It is a nice feeling that helping people as well, so there's no better feeling really when you change somebody's life around and change their habits, change their mindset. It's brilliant.
No, it is really, it's very full on, it's not a job that people, I don't know, I think people have a bit of a misconception about coaching and being a coach. It's a lot of hard work. It is very, very hard work, but it's so rewarding.
There's still times now when I'm like, oh man, I could just go back to engineering and because you own your own business, there's a lot to do as well, isn't there? Because
That's the part.
you just go work somewhere like a coach on the side, but then like deep down, like, nah, I love it too much.
No,
too
I
hard.
love it. I love being my own boss.
But it is, you need patience, and it is
Yes.
it is hard. It's got
Yeah.
pros and cons, isn't it? But
We love it. We've been doing it for what now? What are we, 2026? So 5 years? This will
Yeah.
be our 5th year. But obviously you've been full time since 2022.
Yeah,
Because
you're
you-
4th year now in August.
Yeah. And then I've been full time for what, 2 years? Yeah.
So that's the coaching side of it. We'll get into what this episode's about, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Our struggles as well.
So obviously we've had years of, we've both been in stressful jobs, demanding jobs, so there's been ups and downs. Obviously our relationship, when you were working away and stuff like that, was difficult, So we've had like some hurdles along the way.
And a lot of life experiences, so, and that helps with coaching as well.
Yeah, massively.
Massively.
Well, especially this last 2 years, but more so obviously the last year, obviously losing Elijah, that's taught me so much more, I think. I guess we turned 30, we got married, went on honeymoon. I think it was after that we decided, right, let's start trying for a family.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I'd just finished competing. So I competed in April, so my hormones were all in the floor, and I'd come off the pill about 6 months prior.
Yeah, so it's like a double whammy, isn't it? So
Yeah.
for anyone listening who doesn't compete, a lot of the times, because females get very, very lean.
Yeah, very low body fat.
I would say 90% of females are going to lose their cycles, and it's depending on.
Funnily enough, no, I didn't lose it whilst I was competing. It was when I finished.
Oh, when you finish, yeah.
Yeah, it was
There's a very high chance.
Yeah, obviously.
Just because of the body fat percentage is very
absolutely.
low. And it depends how long after it comes back. It's just random. It can be.
Some women get it back straight away.
Yeah.
Some women don't lose it at all. Some women take a lot
I know you
longer.
could do everything perfect for months and months, and it just might take some time.
Yeah.
Or these mysterious ways sometimes.
But I think for me, mine was a combination of
Coming off the pill.
contraception, because I was on that for, like 10 years. So I was on that for a long, long time. When they put you, when doctors put you on it, they don't actually talk you through the side effects and everything. So anyway, that's another story. Come off of that, plus then finished competing. So my hormones were just completely in the floor. I mean, I was going back and forth to doctors for like, what, a year?
You were shredded as well, though.
Yeah, I was shredded.
Pretty shredded.
But go back and forth, just having blood test after blood
Yeah.
test. My progesterone and my estrogen in the floor. So I think it was a case of taking time to build that back up. So although we wanted to start trying for family, like realistically it wasn't going to happen. And then obviously you competed then the following year.
Yeah.
So then as mine were getting better, yours were going in the opposite direction. So yeah, I think that was hard mentally, because it was something that we really wanted, but something that we, I guess at that stage, realistically, like it wasn't within our reach, I guess.
Yeah, maybe. But that was difficult, but obviously you chose to compete. So.
Yeah, of course, like it was our choice to do that. So.
But yeah, and then that was 2023, wasn't it? And then I guess conceived not long after that, wasn't it?
So 2024, so it was around March, April time, the first time. But then we had what they call a chemical pregnancy, but essentially it's a very early miscarriage. So we had that. Tried again. Then we had a first trimester miscarriage, and I remember that clear as day, because obviously that was traumatic enough.
Yeah.
And I thought, to be honest, that would be when we were going through that, I thought, like, it can't get any worse than this. Like, obviously this is shit, and you don't think that anything worse is going to happen. So we thought, right, we've had the worst year, let's pick ourselves up, let's try and move on. So we had a first trimester miscarriage, and then that was June, because I was in hospital, wasn't I? And obviously we tried again, conceived really, really quickly then after that, conceived in August with Elijah. And obviously that's when everything kind of...
Yeah, when
world flipped upside down. I couldn't get my words out down. The world flipped upside down.
Yeah.
But obviously towards the end, pregnancy, so smooth. It's really straightforward, really smooth pregnancy, no kind of issues at all until like the last part.
The last week, well, nothing really, was it? But yeah, that's when obviously we lost Elijah that week, and that's when everything was just wild. It's weird, isn't it? Because when I think back at it, I still get like PTSD. Always at night as well.
Mm.
When you go to bed,
Yeah.
when your mind seems probably
That's
like overdrive. But it's weird. Obviously, granted, I was an engineer in the military, so I'm not really gonna have like combat experience and stuff for the PTSD. But it's weird, isn't it, that something like that was a massive trauma. But
yeah. Well, this is the thing now, like going into scanning rooms now, like that's why I get so nervous, that's why I'm so anxious, you know, my heart is racing because I've got such a vivid memory of strolling in. So it was, 2 days before his due date? Strolling in for a routine CTG, so it's where they monitor babies, you know, heartbeat and that, just because I had a consultant appointment on Friday. Strolling in, thinking nothing of it, it was a sunny afternoon, and just being sat there, and you know, a student midwife was chatting to me. She was doing what she needed to do, and she was struggling, and she was just saying, "Oh, you know, it's nothing to worry about. It's probably just the machine." So I didn't think anything of it at that point. Then another midwife came in, and she was struggling, and at this point, I was looking at the student midwife, thinking, "Oh my God, like something doesn't feel right." I remember texting you then saying, "I think you need to come down. They're struggling to find his heartbeat." And then another midwife came in and they tried the Doppler. So instead of the normal CTG thing they put on your stomach, is the little Doppler machine that what they use in the midwife appointments to try, to listen to the heartbeat. So she's doing that, and at this point I'm sweating, my heart is going, and I'm thinking something's wrong. I'm obviously getting really, really upset at this point because it was weird because they could find like something was flashing up on the machine. So in my head, I was like, there's something coming up there. So at that point, it felt like something was wrong, but I didn't think anything was wrong because I could see these numbers flashing out. So I thought, his heartbeats must be there, but just, they're just struggling. So anyway, they then said, right, we need to scan you. So I went into the scanning room then. Midwife was checking. She couldn't find anything, but she was getting quite emotional as well. The woman that was scanning us quite regularly towards the end, and she was getting quite emotional. Said, "I need someone else to come and do this because I'm struggling." Another midwife came in then. So this was the senior midwife came in to, I guess, verify. And I'm laying there. There's loads of midwives in the room. I'm just looking up at the scene and thinking, "Oh my God, please." And then obviously they said, "There's no problem." And then it's just all a blur. It's just, you don't think it's going to happen. And then when they confirmed it, I just felt like the world had just come crashing down.
That day, I'll just do some talking. That day is the day that will hold me till I die.
Yeah.
100%. Just because I remember you were off work. We had a scan on the Tuesday as well.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is why I wasn't at the scan, because we had a scan on the Tuesday and it was absolutely fine. This is on the Thursday now. So I was on prep, so I was getting up early, at 4 o'clock, so I just couldn't sleep. So I did all my work by 12, didn't I?
Yeah, you've done. I remember you posted a story.
Yeah,
We went for a walk.
We went for a walk in the morning as well. It was nice, and I took a picture of you as well.
Yeah.
And then I remember putting a story up saying like, "What a day to be alive. Sun's out. I finished work at 12. I'm gonna jet wash the patio." And then, because I was getting the garden ready for obviously summer ready. Baby's gonna be here. Went to the gym, and then Keris rang me. I didn't even say anything. Kind of like from the cry.
Yeah.
There's a cry that you just knew. I just knew straight away.
Yeah. Well, obviously I texted you beforehand saying I think you should come down. So I think at that point, if when I rang you, you probably knew. So yeah, fair play, you got there really quickly. I think you were there within like 5-10 minutes.
I sprayed out of the gym. I think some people in the gym got in you as well. So that
Yeah,
slammed the car in some like residential and just.
I don't really care.
But
But yeah, the following then, that's just such a blur, and it's just so surreal. You know, you get told your baby's passed away. We get then, you know, we got rushed off, we had to go to the hospital. You've got doctors and people talking to you, and well, actually, Mum and Dad came and took us up to the hospital because there's absolutely no way we were driving.
I can't even remember getting that drive or anything. That must have been, must have been such a.
It's just,
a blur.
Yeah, just a massive blur. And then you've got people coming up to you talking about like next steps. And that didn't even click in my mind at first. When we got to the hospital and they took vials and vials and vials of blood, it didn't even click to me until the midwife then said to me, right, we need to talk about, baby needs to come out. And I was like, oh my gosh, I need to give birth. So yeah, they obviously talk you through what happens, but to be honest, it goes in one ear, out the other. You can't concentrate, you can't think about anything. All I remember is that they gave me some medication when we were sent home to come back. That was on the Thursday, and then we were told to come back Saturday morning. And that Friday was the weirdest day ever. Like, we didn't sleep. I remember we were just on the sofa all night watching some crap telly because we just needed something to distract us.
I went through about 3 weeks in one night.
Yeah. It was so weird. We got no sleep, and then the next day, I remember we sat in the garden at one point. She's like, "What?" And like, it's just so weird and surreal. I remember building something in the house just to kind of keep me occupied and take my mind off it, and then try and get some sleep. But obviously that didn't get any sleep at all. And then obviously the next morning we went in to have him.
You did absolutely amazing. I don't really say it enough, but obviously you gave birth naturally knowing the outcome already.
Yeah.
But you still say so strong.
Like, in the back of my mind, thinking, oh my gosh, And I think the main thing for me was I planned to obviously I know birth plans like hardly ever go as you plan it. But for me, I was just like, I just want to give him like the best birth that I can. Luckily, he was a very good boy, and it was very quick. It was smooth, obviously, it was uncomplicated, it was fine. And yeah, obviously, just the moment they put him in our arms, it's kind of like the worst and the best day at the same time, because obviously we finally meet our baby, knowing that we can't take him home. It's like the hardest thing ever.
Yeah, it's a weird, it was weird, wasn't it? Like having 24 hours with him, but not knowing what to do either. Like
just hold him. That's literally all I wanted to do, was just hold him, knowing that that's the, he's not going to be able to.
We had to take pictures, and we had to, because obviously that we only
even all of that's a blur. Like those couple of days in hospital are just a blur.
Watch Batman with him.
Yeah, you did. You read in many books.
It's all about protein.
Yeah. And then well, I say that was the hardest point was when they put him in our arms. But I think actually the hardest point was then having to leave him at the hospital and walking out of that hospital without him. Oh my God.
We're quite lucky that we had such an amazing midwife with us.
Oh, she was incredible.
Stacey, she was, so we knew that we were leaving Elijah with her.
Yeah.
Which kind of gave us some sort of, some we were looking for.
Comfort.
Yeah.
Yeah, knowing that he was going to be looked after.
But yeah.
Yeah, so obviously then, we, again, just so weird, so strange, you're walking out of hospital after giving birth, don't have my baby is seeing other people walking in and out with, the car seats or other people with children. And honestly, it's just the hardest thing we've ever gone through, and I hope I never have to do anything like that again.
Well, I just wouldn't wish it on anyone.
Oh,
I
no.
don't have any enemies, but I wouldn't, I
No.
wouldn't wish it on anybody. It's just, it's not nice at all. I remember reading the newspaper article about Meg, who we're actually very close friends with now, about how she lost her little boy Eddie, and I was reading it, and I think you were only like 6 weeks to give him birth, and I was like, I can't read this. I was like, it's such a sad story, and then you never think, oh, it'll never happen to us.
You never think it'll
And then
happen
it
to
happened
you.
to us, and I was just like, not the best situation or circumstances, but we're really close to Meg and Sean now, and they lost their little boy as well. And
Yeah.
It's weird that.
But it does, like, trauma brings people together. So even though it's like the shittest circumstances you can ever imagine, and we feel lucky that to have met people like them, because they also help you through it. People who can actually resonate with what you're going through.
I feel like until something, even a miscarriage, but until something like that happens to you, you don't realise it's definitely stillbirth isn't a common thing, but miscarriage is unfortunately quite common. I think that when you go through it, you realise people open up to you now.
Yeah.
And you realise how many people have been through it.
Yeah.
And even, unfortunately, with stillbirths as well, more people like people reached out to us and we didn't even know.
Yeah. Yeah, we do.
And like, we obviously had to do some posts and stuff, and we posted pictures like a week later. And one of the posts got quite a lot of traction. Instagram's weird, but it was quite covered in that I had random blokes from wherever in the UK just messaged me saying they'd been through the same situation, and if I wanted to reach out to them. That's what social media should be for and stuff.
Yeah.
But it was a horrible.
Well, it's, and the thing is, like, it's been 11 months now. Straight after hospital, that was just, again, those couple of, I would say the first couple of months are even a blur.
Yeah.
How we were just functioning. I think we just went into autopilot.
We went away, didn't we?
We went away, we went
up
to West Wales and
Carabine, West Wales and Broadway. It was nice not to see anyone.
Yeah.
Took you on a 3-hour Saundersfoot to Tenby walk 4 or 5 days after giving birth. That's how much of a beast you are.
I
had to get a taxi home.
I was knackered, I couldn't have walked home. But, I did have a very smooth labour. I had no kind of injuries, no tearing or anything like that afterwards. So I was very, very lucky in that sense that I could move and I could exercise relatively quickly after. And I think, thank God, because if I wasn't able to, my head would have just gone.
I feel like, obviously, speaking of training, that's the one thing that kept us going there. And it might be weird to some people, where they're like, if people going through something like that started training pretty much straight after, but literally.
Everyone copes in different ways, though. Everyone grieves in different ways.
And obviously, fitness is our life.
It's the only thing we know what to do, really.
If I was just in that house, I would have lost my mind.
Well, exactly. This is why we went away. Because if we were sat in those 4 walls, looking at even coming home, and we've got a nursery ready for him to come home to. If we were just stuck in the house doing nothing, I would have, I don't know where I would have been. I would have just spiraled into a really dark place. And, there were some dark times where you have some dark thoughts. Luckily, we've got, we're very strong and we've got each other, because I think I definitely would not have coped if I didn't have you and the way that you held me up.
You've got quite a strong support network as well, which is nice. Family, friends.
Yeah, and I think even if we were going to the gym for an hour, just going and letting your head just go somewhere else.
Yeah,
and it wasn't always as easy as that, though, because I would find that I would sometimes be training and, you know, you're thinking about everything that's gone on.
Mm.
You know, I break down in the middle of a session, and you know, although it has helped, it doesn't solve the problem. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't. Yeah.
It's just it's not, people will say like the gym is like, it's therapy, isn't it? But I don't think so. It's a coping mechanism. 'Cause like I say to clients, and we're all going to go through difficult situations.
Yeah.
It's not going to solve, if you're going through money issues or you're going through relationship issues, it's not going to solve it. But it's going to take your mind off it.
It helps you cope.
It helps you cope.
Yeah.
Training releases endorphins as well, so you're going to feel a little better. So you could be struggling, but you go to the gym, you lift some weights, or you go and play football, or you go dancing, or something. It's going to
whatever it is. And there's been, you know, for the last 11 months, there's been so many times where I could have easily just said, oh no, I can't bother. No, I'm feeling drained. I'm feeling really shit. Like yesterday, for example, you know, I was having a bit of a rubbish day yesterday mentally. You know, we went out for a walk, we went, you know, did a training session, you know, and it didn't solve, you know, how I was feeling, but it helped me cope with it, you know, and it does help. It's not a replacement for therapy whatsoever, but it can massively help you cope.
Definitely, then just sitting in the house, watching TV, just looking at the four walls is not good for your mind at all. That's when your mind's on overdrive. Definitely when something's just happened to you, or you've lost your job, and you've just lost your job, or whatever it is, like that, your mind is literally all over the place.
That's what you think about, isn't it? And it consumes you, you know. And I feel like it's been 11 months now, and it still hurts. Still, you know, I don't think that's ever going to change. You know, when I describe it I can't even describe it to people, but when it first happened, it literally felt like my heart had been ripped out of my chest. And I think that's never going to change, but we've learnt, and we're still learning, because it's going to be a long road ahead.
Like it's never going to be forgotten, and future children.
Yeah.
They're always going to remember little brother, big brother, should I say. But yeah, so it was a mad, but this is probably the most negative situation will ever happen in our life. And anyone who's gone through this, well, there's nothing that could ever be worse than that.
Nothing ever be worse than that. Yeah.
Than losing your job. But together we got through it. Through fitness we got through it.
Well, still getting through
it. Yeah, sorry, I should say. And I always think, although I'm never going to get over this, it's never going to go away.
There's always going to be a missing chair at the dinner table, or a missing piece, you know, to our family.
It has made us stronger, and it's changed us. It's made me stronger.
Yeah.
100% mentally. Like I feel.
Well, look at all the mental challenges you're doing.
When I did that fan dance, which is, I'll say it because anyone doesn't know what it is, it's the SES, part of the SES selection, 24 kilometres at Brecon with 45 pounds on your back. As quick as you can, pretty brutal. I just kept on the last bit, one of my best mates done it with me, and he did it unweighted, and he was just pushing me, and then at one point I just zoned out, and all I thought about is Elijah was watching me from heaven, and I was thinking, he's probably with his little buddies now, saying, well, there's my dad, look, and I didn't want to look like a pussy, so I was just in my head, I was like going, he's looking at you, don't disappoint him. Yeah. And it just keeps you going, and it's just, you mean, and next year when I compete next year, I'm going to do it for myself, obviously, but I want to do it for him as well, because
I think anything in life now is always, well, the saying, literally as soon as soon as he was born, like pretty quickly after that, we were like, right, well, we can't do it with him, so we're going to do it for him. So if not with you, then for you. That's kind of like my little saying.
That was something that helped us massively as well as the charity work we did, because it kept our minds busy.
And they were all physical challenges.
And they kept our minds busy, and it was amazing just having everyone come around and support us and do challenges.
Support was incredible.
If anyone's listening, you were there, thank you very much, because we had massive turnouts and everything.
We couldn't have done that without, other people coming along and supporting, getting involved.
I don't think our brain was working on the first one, the 31 mile Cardiff to Barry and back. My feet were pretty wrecked after that.
I found that one the hardest.
I was like, that's only 31 miles walking, piece of this. And
No.
then on the way back, I was like, it's quite far.
Yeah, afterwards, like we got to the end, I think we were at Penarth, so we had maybe about half an hour left.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh my fucking god, my hips are killing. And I was still only was that 6 weeks after I?
Yeah, 6 weeks.
6 weeks after I had Malaysia.
I forget about that.
Yeah, I know, making me do all these crazy things, literally just after giving birth. But yeah, I remember being at the end, I was like, oh my god, my hips, my feet, my knees, everything was like in pain. And then I thought, how the hell am I going to do the 24-hour Pen y Fan challenge? But I found the Pen y Fan one easier.
Do you know the hardest challenge last year? Maybe not the fan dance, although no count, but the one I was in the most pain after was the football. I only played 60 minutes of football. I couldn't walk the next day.
You're not used to it, are you?
First 5 minutes, obviously my fitness it's bodybuilding, it's not like running.
But also, that was what? Would you do that in July, August time?
Yeah. I don't know.
Obviously, you've had months where you haven't.
No,
you were training.
I did a bit of running, and then like 5 minutes into that game, I was like, I'm not going to be able to last the half. I was like, how embarrassing is that?
You better get training for the next one.
Captain's got to come off. Sorry, lads, I'm off. But yeah, that was brutal. But they kept us going.
And I think for us, like physical challenges, like I don't know, I just feel like this is something that I've definitely picked up from you. So you've rubbed off on me on this one, but like the resilience, the discipline, like the mental side of things. Because I'll just say to my head, like in my head, like yeah, you can do it. Don't be a pussy or whatever. You know, the same thing as now, you know, with Elijah, it's like, you know, he's looking down on you, you want, you know, we're doing it for him. But yeah, very driven in terms of like when it comes to a physical challenge, especially like when you say you're going to do something, you will do it.
Yeah, I feel like, and I try to drive this into my clients as well, and I know you do, I feel like if you just sit in your comfort zone, you're never going to grow. No. Ever. Mm-hmm. You're just going to quit at things, the most basic things as well. You're going to make excuses, you're going to quit. But the more challenges you do, the stronger you become physically and mentally. And then you want to keep challenging yourself. Like we've done 24 hours twice now. Yeah. This year might be a bit over the top, but we'll see. We'll try it. But I'm going to do 10 band this year in 24. But I want to do it with an altitude class. That is, I'm going to try.
You always have to take it like, there's the line, and then it's like, I'm just going to go over.
I'm going to try it for this. I'm saying I'm going to do it, but I have never worn an altitude mask, so I don't know how hard it is. And I'll also be the heaviest by that point.
But I feel like you always look for ways, like,
to just improve.
To challenge yourself the most.
So the fan dance, I did 4 hours 17. So, yeah, 7 minutes before SAS got off, wasn't it? So good. So that's the time I want to do, but I want to do sub 4 hours now. So like, it's just constant challenges.
I'd like to do that next year.
You smash it.
I don't know, Jacob's ladder was pretty hard.
It's pretty tough, yeah.
But yeah, I'll do it unweighted because I'll only be 4 months post. So I'll do it unweighted for the first one. But yeah, like physical challenges, training, like they've kept us focused. They've given us something to work towards, you know, to kind of keep us going, because otherwise we, you know.
Yeah, we do it obviously to build ourselves and it's to inspire people as well, inspire clients, because we always want them to push themselves.
Yeah, 100%.
And inspire little man now as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the struggles we've been through, and it's just built us to where we are now. But obviously, I kind of wish that we never. Well, no, I do wish we never had to go through that. But yeah, difficult year last year.
It's just the worst year we will ever have.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just about keeping.
But we didn't give up.
No, and yeah, just keeping putting one foot in front of the other.
And we're now 21
weeks on them.
21 weeks on them.
With Elijah's little sister.
My work is now cut out for me. And never be able to add to the family.
Yeah. Well, that's a roller coaster in itself. I mean, going through 2 back-to-back pregnancies.
Well, when did
2
you
years
conceive?
of
December.
Yeah.
So what's that? That is 7.
Technically the end of November.
So 7 months post.
Yeah, roughly.
5th issue.
Yeah. Wild ride, but you know, hopefully it'll be worth it. Yeah.
Definitely will be worth it.
Yeah.
But should we wrap up?
Yeah. So next episode we've got Meg, one of our Team Titan coaches, who I'm really excited to have on. Actually, she's just lush. She's mental. She's wild.
Roller coaster of a ride.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that one. Talking about her journey. I mean, there's loads. We'll wait for her to talk
Well,
about
she's a young mum and
yeah,
she works, stays
multiple
in uni.
jobs.
So yeah, so it'll be a good one. Interesting for anyone who potentially is a young mother as well.
Yeah.
It'll be a good one. It'll be a good one.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. So yeah, stay tuned in for the next one.
And thank you for listening.